The operational environment is more complex than ever. The increased numbers of actors, internal or external, are drivers of this complexity. The speed with which information can spread out all around the world almost simultaneously to the event helps to explain why the complexity is part of today's environment. Furthermore, we can also mention that violence is no longer contained inside a club of states sharing a majority of rules and principles. By our very nature, the democratic nations limit the use of violence, whilst our adversaries, on the contrary, used unleashed violence, difficult to counter, as this behaviour includes targeting civilians in their daily lives. As Rapid Reaction Corps France deploys into this operational context, our ambition is to act decisively by being a centre of awareness, an operations centre that monitors fast-paced situations, and consequently a decision centre ready to rapidly face the challenges on the ground. Mastering complexity is a challenge, but we train our multinational forces for this challenge. In the next 20 minutes, I will develop a sort of fast screenplay, a kind of fictitious operation illustrating this complexity from planning to direct action. Through this scenario, I will cover the awareness and planning phase of an operation, the development of intelligence to frame the enemy, the conduct of operations, and our capability to react in the depth of our deployment. As I just said, modern warfare means fighting in a complex and fast-evolving environment. A holistic view of the engagement space in the political, economic, social and information domains enables my commander and his staff to understand the current and developing situation. It integrates the use of political, economic and civil instruments in concert with military means to achieve the desired effects. This is the only way to operate effectively today when managing complex security problems. By developing a comprehensive approach, Rapid Reaction Corps France recognises, whilst the enemy military forces matter, their political, economic, social and cultural environment are of paramount importance to act in this environment. In order to determine the most appropriate responses and to enable the effective use of both military and non-military means, we exploit information and knowledge from a wide range of sources to provide my commander with a greater understanding of complex environments. As the Rapid Reaction Corps France, or head of the Land Task Force organisation deployed in such an environment, we must understand the engagement space and cover theatre geometry, human terrain and activities, desired objectives and end states of a wide variety of actors. The commander wants to get a clear picture of the adversary and the engagement space. A continuous adaptive and networked activity carried out between strategic, operational and tactical levels provides the commander and his staff with a comprehensive understanding of the complex environment. This includes the relationships and interactions between systems and actors within the engagement space. We need to connect or fuse all information and knowledge that already exists across the headquarters with external information and expertise to build a comprehensive appreciation that can be accessed through dedicated networks. To be able to gather the information and data my commander needs, the intelligence branch is connected to the brigades under command of the Land Component Command for the current operation. The connection is also established with the higher echelon, the Joint Task Force Headquarters. It is also true for the other component commands such as the Air and Maritime, the host nation intelligence assets and services, the whole NATO intelligence community and the National Intelligence Services. Civilian experts, either embedded or on reachback, can also contribute to this comprehensive effort. At the end of the day, a comprehensive preparation of the operational environment encapsulates the results of a connected process and fuses information intelligence with a view to operationalising key conclusions in support of the planners and decision makers. This planning process, led by the Joint Force Command in the preparation of exercise Steadfast Jazz, was conducted throughout Europe until a few days before our deployment. We started to prepare our plans 6 months in advance in Lille, where our headquarters is garrisoned. Several commands from different levels, from strategic to tactical, and different services such as maritime, air and land, were connected on a regular basis to plan the operation collaboratively. Through technology, common procedures and exchange of liaison officers, NATO planning is a team event. Using NATO dedicated software, This decision-making process made the training of the headquarters very realistic by checking and practicing this connectivity among the NATO headquarters. It's a rehearsal for actions that may be executed during our standby period. This interoperability is key to success. Rapid Reaction Corps France dedicated a long time to this phase of planning, which was a great opportunity to improve our skills. In order to inform our commander's decision-making process, the intelligence branch's ambition is to provide predictive, accurate, relevant, objective and timely intelligence. This is true from the beginning, in support of the planning, refinement, execution and assessment of operations across the full operational spectrum of conflicts. This spectrum runs from high-intensity warfare to stabilisation and post-conflict reconstruction operations. The intelligence branch's main task is to help the commander and his staff to determine the manoeuvre of any adversaries in his environment, mainly related to time and space. To this purpose, intelligence branch tasks all available intelligence assets and units in order to address both the commander's requirements and some selective intelligence requirements. Assets from the brigades, the Air Force Command, the Maritime Command and others can also be tasked to complement my commander's own intelligence assets. It's a synergy built to address another complex but classical difficulty, which is to see the best we can through the fog of war. It's a team effort. These assets range from simple combat and logistics units to sophisticated intelligence collection assets. Finally, the intelligence branch incorporates all these intelligence and information tools and products in part of a plan like the decision support overlay. The production of this document is the final product of the threat integration process. This will help the headquarters to publish its final plan. As intelligence drives operations, this process is a base for all planning activities of this headquarters. The commander and his staff understand the contents of political decisions, accelerating the decision-making process. This helps the commander to sense when there is a significant change in the environment. To follow the situation in real time, we rely on the common operational picture displayed inside our operations centre. This is actually a set of screens that gather all the information that we need. These screens display different types of sources ranging from real-time drone feeds to video conference, Air Force information systems and a shared common vision of the land commitments. We also have dedicated software called JotWatch connecting our command post to the Joint Task Force headquarters. It also allows the connection with the air, maritime, special operations and logistics forces as well as with our brigades. This connection provides the ability to keep the commander and his staff informed of positions and statuses on the battlefield without interfering in the conduct of our subordinate unit activities. It's not invasive and permits a simple way to maintain situational awareness. But technology will never replace human connection, and it's even truer as the complexity grows. To address complex situations, the commander gives orders face-to-face with his main subordinates. This direct contact is of paramount importance. Liaison officers from the subordinate units and other services are obviously contributing to the following of our events and informing their bosses whilst helping us maintain awareness of their activities and thoughts about future operations. They are participating with the commander during all the important briefings in order to report directly to their own commander about courses of action developed by our staff. We also send liaison officers to our higher echelon, the Joint Force Command, deployed in the field. The principle is the same. Understand the intent of the Joint Force Command commander to anticipate future actions and explain the action and concerns of our commander. Rapid Reaction Corps France is a sizable headquarters designed to deal with the complexity of the operation environment. But it is also able to react very swiftly to any incident either at our level or to support our subordinates and other components. The predicted course of events is graphically represented by a synchronization matrix, which is a way to follow in time and space what has been planned and if we are on track or not. If we are too far away from the initial plan, several what-if plans are prepared in advance and these will be implemented to correct the direction. Additionally, we take corrective actions using either the reserve or specific assets such as multiple launch rocket systems or Air Force or Army aviation assets, either to support our subordinates or to conduct a particular action at our level. This is the job of the Joint Operations Centre. It is the heart of our command post, and it's like the air traffic control centre in a big airport. From this critical organisation, the commander can actually conduct operations, having access to all the information and the links with all the force elements. It is in fact the gathering in one location of a reduced headquarters with all its capacities but the planning ones. From here, he can also be updated on the mission and the ongoing status of the Maritime, Air and Special Forces commands. That allows him to conduct his actions being aware of the overall picture of the operations and with a strong coordination of mutual joint support. Today, and as an example, the commander is conducting the counterattack against Bothnian forces which invaded Estonia and are currently in Haapsalu. The planning of this offensive operation was developed several days earlier. Now, the critical time to regain the initiative has come. He's giving his orders and receiving reports from the field in his operations centre. This is the heart of the command post. Furthermore, this operations centre organisation provides the ability to be proactive, so the commander is able to seize opportunities very quickly. If, during the Estonian Western Coast Offensive, any opportunity to free civilians or to neutralise the enemy pops up, our commander should be aware of it, and this critical information will come through the operations centre. But let's also have a look to where my commander can drive his operations in his extended area of responsibility. Actually, our headquarters is driving, monitoring, synchronising and supporting the close operations of our brigades, but also focuses on the rear operations and the deep operations. We are able to manage the rear area by ensuring force protection and alert dissemination against different threats. Once the threat is identified and located, we will use our own units to react or provide any support. But we will also prepare deep operations in order to shape the enemy and thus facilitate our main subordinate units' operations by neutralising or destroying specific targets such as follow-on forces, major units, or command and control assets, or logistics bases. Then, in order to engage these targets, we will choose the most appropriate means or a combination of different means in close coordination with the Joint Force Command and with other components. After this planning phase, we will conduct this deep operation. As this type of operation is rather complex, its execution needs to be prepared and rehearsed through several meetings that include liaison officers from the other components. When all the conditions are reached and following a go, no-go briefing, the operation is launched. It could include different assets from the other component commands. Modern warfare enables our commander to accelerate or slow down the process described previously and consequently the operational tempo and intensity. Modern warfare is how we synergise the art of war and technology, mixing velocity, accuracy, agility, connectivity and highly skilled soldiers capable of gaining and sustaining the initiative. The aim is to reach tactical objectives in a larger and more complex operational environment in which our NATO countries operate today. Complexity then demands creative and regular training for our alliance's most precious asset, our soldiers of all ranks, to perform skills which have to evolve concurrently to the pace of the operational environment complexity. So now you know how we handle modern warfare in Rapid Reaction Corps France. My examples have an overarching theme: interoperability. NATO has common doctrine and procedures which enhance technology. We leverage technology, as you've seen on the screens behind me. But the pièce de résistance of modern warfare is human interoperability. It is soldiers who wear different uniforms and have native languages and cultures working together to use technology and doctrine to understand and act in the environment. The multinational soldier is ready for the complex environment of today and the future. Modern warfare is using new technology in the best way we can to efficiently answer the challenges of our environment. But we also keep in mind that we will always have to deploy boots on the ground, which means soldiers living in a challenging environment, encompassing not only the enemy, but also heat and cold, injuries and casualties, and countless other factors. We need these soldiers in the streets of unstable cities or in terrorised countryside because we cannot solve a crisis without soldiers in contact with the population. This is extremely exacting since the environment is more demanding than ever before because of its growing complexity. Considering the dynamic nature of war, we try the best we can to look on the other side of the hill to adapt our organisation to what could be the nature of our next commitment.